Hello everyone. In this video we're going to be taking a look at an article from Politico. Now this was written on the 28th by Alex Thompson, and it's actually kind of funny. Famed Democratic pollster, Warren as VP would lead Biden to victory. The bitch couldn't even carry her own fucking state, and they think that she's going to bring him to victory? She couldn't in Massachusetts, the state she's from, carry it. And she's going to help Biden? This is like some major levels of crack smoking delusion. I mean, don't get me wrong, Biden, things aren't, so sure on Trump being a shoo-in type thing. And I'm not going to, say that he is at this point, because there is a chance. But this is not the chance that the Democrats need to win. She's going to drag him down like an anchor on his neck. I mean, maybe not as bad as some other candidates, like Kamala Harris with throwing blacks in prison and shit like that and being a hypocrite. But she couldn't even carry, like I said, couldn't carry her own state. So, yeah, we've got a problem here. And she's supposedly going to help him. Contrary to conventional wisdom, Stan Greenberg says the Massachusetts senator would bring the biggest political upside, and he's making the case to Biden. Stan Greenberg, one of the Democrat Party's longtime leading pollsters, urged Hillary Clinton in 2016 to pick Elizabeth Warren as her vice president. He thinks Clinton would be president if she had listened. Well, maybe back then, because she wasn't as whacked out, lefty, fucking ridiculous, like, hypocritical and everything else, because, she wasn't like, oh, look at me drink a beer and being stupid. And showing what a hypocrite she is, and the gaffes and the lies that came out. I mean, maybe they would be like a good team with the gaffes, because like, I was fired because I was pregnant, which turned out to be a lie. Yeah, I mean, they might be good on that note, but she is an anchor around his neck. Back then, she might not have been for Hillary because this stuff wasn't out there. Now Greenberg, who popularized the term Reagan Democrats and came to prominence as Bill Clinton's lead pollster, is urging Joe Biden's team to heed the same advice. She is not going to help him, but whatever. Earlier this month, he briefed top Biden campaign officials on 2 battleground surveys conducted by his firm. Accompanied by a slide presentation that was obtained by Politico, Greenberg addressed the question hanging over Biden and his inner circle. Which vice presidential candidate will help the most in November? The conclusion was blunt. Senator Warren is the obvious solution. She's like maybe a lesser of a couple evils, but not all the evils. I mean, this is funny. This guy, I'm sure, waited shit because he had a bug up his ass about getting her as VP with Clinton. So how do we know this bias isn't playing in here? Biden's biggest problem, Greenberg said, is that the Democratic Party has not unified behind him, and they're not going to because of Elizabeth fucking Warren. In fact, Biden is now behind where Clinton was with Bernie Sanders voters in 2016, with more than 20% of the Democratic Socialist backers saying they would not vote for him, even as 87% of them pledged to vote for a Democrat for Congress. Yes, do you want to know why? Because the fucking fixes in type shit was going on. Everything's really fucking shady. They know that the Democrats are scumbags, and they're not going to vote for their guy. On the note of the Democrats, it being their guy, not the Bernie bros, their guy. At a similar point in the 2016 cycle, roughly 15% of Sanders voters said they wouldn't vote for Hillary Clinton, and Greenberg's own polling through Democracy Corp around Election Day found the same. It was more than 15%. What are you talking about? Holy shit. The other 85% didn't fall in fucking line. Are you kidding me? This is some bullshit narrative they're trying to push. Bernie bros fucking revolted. They didn't vote at all, or they voted for like third-party candidates, and a few of them even voted for Trump. I mean, this is ridiculous. They lean towards the Democrats, but Biden's not getting their votes yet, Greenberg told Politico. He can't. He's an establishment scumbag hack. They don't like people like him. Even before Greenberg's presentation, Biden's campaign signaled that it recognized he had a serious problem with the left wing. While most presidential candidates moved to the center after capturing the nomination, Biden has tacked left. Yes, and he's alienating the middle-of-the-road people that the Democrats need to get fucking elected. But hey, whatever. He recently partnered with Sanders to create Unity Task Force, and Biden's team has spoken of New Deal level ambitions. Oh, so basically he's talking about doing unconstitutional shit. Well, that FDR had to literally stack the Supreme Court and rig it to fucking manage to get it called constitutional. But hey, whatever. On policy, Biden has shifted on some issues such as immigration and college affordability, and in one case reversed himself when he embraced Warren's bankruptcy plan. Oh my God. Yeah, because he's desperate and he's hoping to just grab anything he can and toss it at the wall and hope that it sticks for him. Those moves, combined with Democrats' motivation to oust President Donald Trump, might be enough to win over Sanders voters. Sure. Whose defections in 2016 arguably cost Clinton the election. No, it was the silent majority of Americans that cost Clinton the fucking election. It was the flyover states, the battleground states that cost Clinton the election. It wasn't the fucking Bernie bros, you dishonest, sleazy piece of shit. But Greenberg believes picking Warren is the clearest and easiest way to coalesce the party. If he's smoking crack, he might believe that. He adds that Biden can't simply match Clinton's performance. He has to surpass it in order to ensure victory. Well, yeah, because if he matches Clinton, he's still going to lose. In measuring several different messages of various candidates without their names attached, Greenberg told Biden's team that Warren's message about a rigged system was dominant among groups Biden needs, such as millennials, who may feel disillusioned by the tumult of recent decades. So basically, this rigged system, taken out of quote shit, is basically, oh yeah, the system's against you, so we're going to give you free shit. That's what they're saying he needs to get these votes. Is he's going to have to say the system's rigged against you and we're going to give you free shit because of it. We'll absolve you of debt that you chose to take on. We'll give you free money. We'll give you free this. We'll give you free that. This is how they think they're going to win the election, which possibly they could. Because, I mean, you look at Americans now, they would rather stay at home because they're getting more in unemployment than go back to fucking work. And more than a few have said that. It's not the current pandemic keeping them home. It's the fact that they're making a shit ton more money. And millennials are, I mean, no offense to all of you out there, but a bunch of you, the majority of you, are lazy fuckers who think you deserve to get shit just handed to you. No offense, but I've seen enough of it in my lifetime with millennials that it's kind of a common theme in your little fucking generational group. Greenberg's analysis may be a surprise, given that he's not exactly a left-wing firebrand. His most famous political clients include former British Prime Minister Tony Blair, Al Gore, and Bill Clinton. So basically, you have a guy who, like, is a Clinton bitch trying to help Biden get elected. This sounds like it's going to go over really fucking well. He co-founded a firm with Democratic strategist James Carville, and also co-authored a book with him in 2012. He has long criticized the Democratic Party on immigration, an appraisal he shared with Hillary Clinton as she recounted her post-2016 campaign book, What Happened? What happened? The bitch tried to campaign to fucking California and New York and thought she was going to win and said, fuck the flyover states. That's what happened. Stan also thought my campaign was too upbeat on the economy, too liberal on immigration, and not vocal enough about trade, she wrote. Upbeat on the economy, you were a doom and gloom bitch, like pulling the Obama shit. Like, well, we're not gonna have a great economy, you know. We got to get used to what we have. Whereas Trump said, I'm gonna let the economy I'm gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it loose, and it's gonna go fucking wild, and it did. And she was too liberal on immigration. So what you're saying is her wanting open borders and illegals to just fucking get free rides and shit like that fucked her? Oh yeah, that could have been a reason why she didn't win. Especially when you get people in flyover states that, you know, are being told to learn to code while a bunch of illegals are coming in to do fucking jobs that Americans could be doing. Yeah, I can understand why she would lose with that. And she was not vocal enough about trade. The bitch, she couldn't shut up about it because Trump was talking about trade and she kept going on about trade and how we needed open trade and for China to bend us over and fuck us up the ass with their trade, and, you know, with how, and NAFTA was good when Mexico and Canada are fucking the U.S. And she's saying, oh, well, trade's good. We need trade. And she's like pushing for the fucking globalist fucking TPP and shit and TPIP. Yeah, she wouldn't shut up about fucking trade. She wanted globalism. That's what fucked her. She was too vocal about her views on trade. Greenberg's polling is not an outlier. A Politico Morning Consult poll released this week showed Warren boosting Biden's candidacy the most of any potential choice, particularly among under 45 and Black and Hispanic voters. And an April USA Today Suffolk poll similarly found that 22% of Sanders voters would vote for a third-party candidate, Trump, or not vote at all. Yeah. See, that's what that part there is what scares them. 22% of Sanders voters said they would vote for a third party, Trump, or not vote at all. Those are the people who are admitting it. You know there's going to be even higher than that because Bernie couldn't necessarily turn out the Bernie bros to vote. He had grassroots support, but Bernie bros, lazy millennials and shit, they weren't going out to vote. They're like, oh, someone else will do it for me. Look what it got them. And this thing of Warren will get the Black and Hispanic vote. Oh, yeah, fucking Pocahontas. Let's make her fucking Biden's running mate. I'm going to love fucking Trump at debates and everything else going off on this shit. She's going to help Biden with the fucking minorities. All Trump has to do is bring up fucking Pocahontas. Be like, yeah, Pocahontas here. She knows what it's like to be a minority. Hey, yeah, here. We got Pocahontas here. She knows how to be I can't do a Trump, but you know what I'm saying. Be up on the stage doing that and fucking, she'd be a boat anchor around Biden's neck. Above all else, the Democratic Party needs consolidation. That's where the overwhelming percentage of votes are, Greenberg argued. Well, no shit. You kind of need to get the people who vote for your party to fall in line. And it's not happening. In his presentation, which was titled The Obvious Solution, Greenberg wrote the biggest threat to Democrats in 2020 is the lack of support and disengagement of millennials and the fragmentation of non-Biden primary voters. So basically, because people don't like Biden, they got to get them to like Biden, and millennials don't vote. That's what that's saying there. It's too funny. At least they can admit that. The Biden campaign declined to comment on Greenberg's presentation, and Greenberg wouldn't say how it was received. Not off the record either, he added. Well, I guess it wasn't taken too well. Biden has recently begun vetting several women for vice president. Some allies say 3 of his former rivals, Senators Amy Klobuchar, Kamala Harris, and Warren, have an edge because of their experience running for president themselves. You mean they're failing miserably at running for president? That's good experience to have? Okay, sure, whatever. He's also considering New Hampshire Senator Maggie Hassan, New Mexico Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham, and Florida Rep. Val Deming. Well, Hassan is a fucking shitbrick, so if he takes her, I would love to see what Trump could come up on her. I don't know what he'll come up with, but if it gets her out of New Hampshire, that's fine by me. Anyway, former President Barack Obama has been advising Biden on the choice also. Also thought it was very important to pick someone who had already gone through the rigors of presidential campaign trail. There's not going to be a lot of time to adjust, Obama said at the time, according to former advisor David Axelrod's book, Believer. I am afraid that if someone is experiencing this whole crazy circus for the first time, it would be too much to ask. Really? I don't understand that one. Trump never ran for really ran for president. He did his early fucking previous run, but he had no real experience besides that, and he was perfectly fine. So I don't know what to tell you on that one. That just seems like you want to have it like a boys club, so to speak. Not necessarily, a club of boys, but the idea of just insiders. But hey, whatever. Greenberg's argument that Warren would be the shrewdest choice politically cuts against much of the conventional wisdom, which holds that she may be a capable governing partner, but does not bring much political upside. No, she actually brings a downside. For fuck's sake. She's like the perfect target for Trump to go after alongside Biden. You're making it so that he has 2 targets just standing right there for him to fucking go off on and make fun of and expose while he's doing it for the shit that they truly are trying to push. Among the raps against her left-wing proponents could alienate suburban voters the party needs, and Trump would have a field day going after her. Oh, now you finally bring up the field day going after her? And yes, she will alienate those people. She couldn't even carry her own fucking state. That tells you something. When someone can't carry their own fucking state, they're probably not a benefit. More than likely, they are going to hurt you. Many progressives have also argued that Biden should pick a black woman to help increase turnout among African American voters, particularly in Detroit, Philadelphia, and Milwaukee. And you want to know why they're pushing for that? Because Trump has broken the 20% approval rating with blacks. And if you can get 20% of the black vote, All right. As a Republican, the Democrats can't win, supposedly. So that's what they're afraid of. So they got to try to turn out the black vote. So they're going to do identity politics and get them to nominate a black woman, hoping that Trump doesn't have those black voters voting for him. Even and this thing of in Detroit, well, the last election, you had more ballots cast than you had actual fucking voters in Detroit. You know, with the Green Party there having a candidate having her recount going on, and the second they noticed that, they were all calling it off, going, nothing to see here. You're gonna you're gonna stuff the ballot boxes in Detroit anyways, you sleazy scumbags. You're gonna do it again this election. Even some of Warren's allies acknowledge that just because her message may resonate doesn't necessarily mean that she will. Of course not. But her message doesn't resonate either. Both her message and her do not resonate. When she cannot carry her own state, I keep saying that, but that should be a fucking sign that you're an idiot to try to say that she's going to help this guy win. She's not the nominee, after all, and she failed to place first or second in any 2020 primary, including her home state of Massachusetts. No shit. I've been saying that through this whole video, and now you bring it up towards the end because you know that's the fucking, you know, the elephant in the room with this, or one of multiple. But Greenberg is unmoved. I think the data is clear. He said, what data? Data that you fucking clearly had like waited and shit to try to rig something to try to get her as the running mate? Because I don't think this is legit. You're pushing someone saying she's going to make it so he can win, and she can't even carry her own state. She couldn't even come in first or second in any fucking primary, but yet she's going to help him win? That makes absolutely no sense. Greenberg has never worked for Warren. He got to know her when they attended a handful of policy dinners with his wife, Rep. Rosa DeLauro, Democrat, Connecticut, before the Great Recession more than a decade ago. Greenberg also argues there isn't evidence that someone like Harris would obviously increase African American turnout more than Warren would. Well, of course she wouldn't, because she's not, to them, an African American. She's a black woman, but she's not African American. She doesn't understand their cultural and societal needs. She will be seen as the woman who just threw a bunch of black, African Americans into prison, blacks in this country. She will not resonate with blacks in this country, period. Because of that. She'll be looked at as an Auntie Thomasina. I mean, what do you expect? If you look at the African American vote in the primaries, they weren't supporting Harris, he said. She never developed the base in the African American community against Biden. The Politico Morning Consult survey also showed Warren polling better among Black and Hispanic voters than any other contender on the question of whether her selection would make them more likely to vote for Biden. I don't understand that one. Fucking Pocahontas? Sure she is. Underlying Greenberg's case for Warren, however, is more provocative analysis that Democrats have a natural advantage as long as the party isn't splintered, and that Trump is running the GOP into the ground. But he isn't. He isn't running the GOP in the ground, so you have a slight problem there. He made that case in his recently published book, Rip the GOP. The GOP isn't dying. This is what's fucked up. The GOP has more life in it now than it did prior to the run-up to the last election. Trump brought life to the GOP. Trump brought life to the party. It ain't dying. The year 2020 will produce a second blue wave on at least the scale of the first in 2018, and finally will crash and shatter the Republican Party that was consumed by the ill-begotten battle to stop the new American from governing. He wrote in his book. Yeah. You really think that blue wave's going to happen? Okay. I don't see it. I don't see it on the local and federal level. I just don't see that happening because Democrats are screwing the pooch right now. They squandered what they managed to get for gains with like the House and that with the last election in 2018. They fucked themselves. Because they said, we're going to go back to normalcy, and then they went Orange Man bad and pulled their impeachment shit and everything else. They're not well liked. Many Democratic operatives disagree with Greenberg and think that Trump, with his gigantic war chest and knack for survival, might well win re-election. Yeah, he could. He very well could. And I hope that he does. And I'm leaning towards that he's going to, but I'm not ruling anything out because you know that the Democrats are going to pull out all the stops. They're going to be completely shady. This is why they're calling for mail-in voting, because they want to be able to rig the fucking election and have, Democrat activists, we'll call them that, but they're fucking rigging the election, taking ballots that they just conveniently find everywhere and fucking saying, oh, I got this person to vote and I'm submitting it. They're going to do shady shit like that. So I'm not ruling them out at this point. Yet even the global pandemic has upended the campaign, Greenberg said. Democrats are still on track to win big if the party's united. I don't know about that. And they fucked themselves. They let the American people see how full of shit they were and push a fake fucking Russia narrative. They exposed themselves. That isn't going to help them. In every trend and in every election since 2016, he said, the anti-Trump vote has played out stronger and stronger. There's been one fucking election. I love how sleazy this idiot is. In every trend and in every election since 2016. So, which they're trying to take like these special elections and shit, which Republicans have won as well. And they're trying to say that that's gone against Trump. This guy's an idiot. And I honestly think Politico is fucking deleting comments here, because you look at all the Facebook comments, it's all fucking far left, lefty fucking shit. It's fucking ridiculous. There is not one here that goes against this narrative. It's all like they're definitely being a publisher with their comments. There's like no one questioning this, and they're all saying it's great. It's fucked up. Anyway, I've covered this well enough. I'm going to leave things here. If you liked this video, depending on where you are watching it, please give it an upvote or thumbs up. If you want to know when new content of mine hits the internet, don't forget to subscribe to one or more of my social media or video accounts listed here. Also, with YouTube, don't forget to ring that bell. You can find all of my video content on both BitChute and YouTube. This may not be the case with other places I upload to, but I will try to minimize this happening. You are always welcome to interact with me at any of these sites on the list, so feel free to do so. If you have anything you want me to cover in a video, when it comes to news or current events, send it right along to me. I will try to do my best to cover it. As always, thank you for watching.